Hail, Tim from Secret Fire. You know the drill. This is my third time recording this. I'm going to try to get this right. This is going to be a more rambly video. No cuts, no edits. I don't even think I'm going to put an intro at the beginning or credits at the end. I'm just going to talk about what I've been reading lately and how it's affected what I want to read in the future. The thing is, I just finished a book about an hour ago, and it kind of blew my mind, and it's eating me alive from the inside. And so I just need to get my thoughts out right now. So bear with me. So I have read something like, I think I've only read 3 hard-boiled crime novels this year, and a couple short stories, but I'm not going to count those for now. So 3 novels, 3 hard-boiled crime slash detective novels, and I'm really interested in this genre, a genre that I never thought I'd be into before. But yeah, I'm really starting to get into it. Back in February, I read The Big Guy, which was kind of a gangster novel. I read this as part of an episode for the Elusive Exclusive Book Society. Nick from the Book Graveyard picked this one for his turn. And it was an interesting novel. I won't say that I loved that book, mainly because the first like 12 or so pages are really good. They build up this really interesting gangster story. And then the rest of the novel is really kind of boring. But as I found out, it's deliberate. It's meant to be that way. It's meant to be really dry and light on action and drama because it's all set up for the last 5 pages of the book, in which the author gives you this massive revelation that justifies the entirety of the slog that you just read through. It's the kind of thing that had me flipping the pages back and forth and making sure that I read things correctly, because I'm getting this revelation. I'm like, oh my gosh, the answers to this big mystery were staring me right in the face this whole time, and I just didn't know it. It was really cool. So like I said, I didn't love that book. I don't think I'll ever read it again, but that singular reading experience was really cool. And I would recommend that anyone who's a fan of mystery fiction or crime fiction should give The Big Guy a shot. And now that I think about it, I can't remember the name of the author. Not that it's a singular author. It was actually two different writers working under one pen name, but I can't remember what name they used for the life of me. In any case, that was an interesting read. And it got me interested in reading more crime fiction. So after that, I think the very next month, I read The Big Sleep by Raymond Chandler, which isn't, unlike The Big Guy, it's not like a hidden gem or anything. The Big Sleep is a pretty high profile mystery novel. It's kind of a classic. It was made into a bunch of different movies, including a famous film noir with Humphrey Bogart. I loved that book. I love The Big Sleep a lot. Looking back on it, I do agree with some of the criticisms people lob at it, that the mystery itself is incredibly convoluted, like overly convoluted, and there are a lot of plot threads that really don't go anywhere by the end of the story. But the writing of that novel more than makes up for it. Raymond Chandler's writing is incredible. You get this awesome main character, Philip Marlowe, this private detective, whose first-person narration is just, it's perfect. His inner monologue and his dialogue with the other characters is absolutely perfect for the time period, for that style of mystery fiction. It was great. I loved that book. It's definitely going to end up being in my top 10 for this year, most likely. And then just an hour ago, I finished I, the Jury by Mickey Spillane. Now, I don't think this book is quite as good as The Big Sleep, but it still blew my mind nevertheless. The thing about The Big Sleep is, like I said, the prose. Raymond Chandler's writing is amazing. I enjoy more elaborate, descriptive, vivid prose, and it's not overly vivid or overly purple, I guess, in The Big Sleep, but it's very descriptive. It's very it's kind of prosaic. Whereas in I, the Jury, Mickey Spillane's prose is very workmanlike. It's very straightforward. It's a lot simple. There's nothing overly beautiful about the prose in this book, but the story that it tells is incredible. Like I said, it did blow my mind, nevertheless. And it's funny because the character that we get in this book, this is the first of the Mike Hammer novels. Several, I think like a dozen or so Mike Hammer novels that Mickey Spillane wrote during his career. Um, the character, in a way, is kind of like the anti Philip Marlowe from Big Sleep, whereas Philip Marlowe is this kind of straight laced, composed, very, very business-like, very professional private investigator who doesn't let anything phase him, including the ladies. You know, he'll kiss a pretty lady every once in a while, but he's not going to let the beautiful women in his life intrude on his job. Whereas Mike Hammer is totally the opposite. Not only is he this absolute brute, this kind of bull in a china shop who will get his answers by, yanking out a gun and threatening someone at gunpoint, but he's also incredibly promiscuous. This guy sleeps with just about every named female character in the novel. It's almost to a hilarious degree. But yeah, he's kind of an interesting contrast to Philip Marlowe. But they're both awesome characters. And the thing about this book is I was enjoying it for the most part until the very end, the very last chapter, where we get the mother of all exposition dumps. And I was getting kind of worried that this book wouldn't stick the landing, because we just get paragraph after paragraph of exposition of Mike Hammer telling he's talking to another character in the scene, but he's essentially telling the reader what the killer's motive was, who they are, where they were during all these other scenes, how they got away with the murders. And I was worried that with all this heavy-handed exposition, it wouldn't be able to pull through and have a satisfying ending. And I was wrong. I was dead wrong. The last page of this book had my jaw in my lap. It was incredible. Very brutal, very cold-blooded, but good. Oh, so very good. Yeah, and so it's got me thinking about the kind of books that I've been reading lately and the kind of stuff that I want to read in the future. I am very interested to get further into the crime fiction genre, I guess. I feel like I've just dipped my toe into a pool that a lot of other people have been swimming in, and I've just been like, nah, that's not really my kind of thing. And then I dip my toe and I'm like, oh, hey, the water's fine after all. Really, I guess more so I feel like one of those teenagers from those goofy Kids React videos where they have teenagers listen to AC/DC for the first time. And they're like, this is really good. AC/DC's fun. It's like, yeah, of course, they're AC/DC. They're awesome. It's like, have you never listened to the classic rock before? Of course you haven't. You're a kid. That's how I feel right now. I feel like people in the comments are going to be like, of course, I, the Jury is good. It's a classic pulp crime novel. What's wrong with you? But the thing is, I wanted to make this video because not only did I want to get all this off my chest, I wanted to pose a question to you guys. Which books should I be reading in the future if I want to get further into the hard-boiled crime genre? So obviously, I really enjoyed Mickey Spillane. I really enjoyed Raymond Chandler. So let me know in the comments, those of you who are more well-read than I am in this genre, which books should I be checking out? Which authors should I be checking out? Just so you know, don't bother mentioning any of Spillane's other novels, because Nick from the Book Graveyard also texted me earlier today, because I mentioned that I've been really enjoying this book, and he was at a book fair, and he texted me, was like, hey, I picked up a bunch of Spillane novels for you, so I'm covered on that front. But let me know in the comments which authors I should be reading, which books I should be checking out. Yep, that's all I got for now. Let me know, have you ever read I, the Jury? Did you like it as much as I did? I'm definitely going to have to check out more of these Mike Hammer novels, because I love that character, and I loved how much of a contrast he was to Philip Marlowe, who, until recently, was probably my favorite depiction of a hard-boiled crime detective. So that's all for now, guys. See you next time. Until next time, as always, farewell, keep reading. I'm going to go to sleep now because I'm very tired.